next 8 weeks, I will be crossing off a major bucket list adventure, road tripping through Europe in my self-built campervan. My adventure begins travelling south to the port of Rosslare in Southern Ireland and catching a ferry to Bilbao in the north of Spain. There I will start working my way across Europe and eventually ending up on the beaches of Normandy.
Let's go! I'm a little bit early. Eventually. Right, it looks like this is us. Right.
You're going upstairs.
Okay, just show me where to go, my man.
You're going to go up, you're going to go to the right, follow the red and white barriers, and then you turn around to the left.
Cheers, thank you. See what this room's like. So here it is. Here is my little cabin, my little place of rest for the next 2 days. Let's see what's in here. Oh, this is the bathroom, the shower, I assume. Don't know what that is. A shaver. Oh, this is my little port side window. Not too much to see out there at the minute. Let's see what that is up there. Oh. There's actually 4 beds in this. This cabin cost me 200 quid. What is that in there? Oh, some sort of a wardrobe. Seating area. I am here for the next 2 days. Sunday morning we dock around about 5:30 AM in sunny Bilbao, I hope. But I'm happy enough with this. Well impressed. So that will probably be me.
Messieurs,
oh?
Nous vous prions de bien vouloir patienter avant d'intégrer votre cabine, ceci afin de faciliter le travail du personnel d'entretien.
Oh?
Merci de votre compréhension.
Just read, Danielle.
So, up nice and early, had a wander around the ship. These are the length of the corridors. There's 2 on each deck, and I think there's 9 decks in total. The thing was massive. The restaurant and bar, a quick look out, which pretty much stayed that way until we neared port.
So the name of this boat is called the Salamanca. It's not cold, a bit breezy, but it is not cold. Irish Dan in a van was here. 2025. So good morning, it is 6 AM, it is absolutely roasting. Don't think there's too much to see here at this wee port. It's time to grab wee Saoirse and we'll start hitting the roads. We are just waiting here to disembark. The nerves in the stomach are absolutely going haywire. I've got a few wee notes written along the dashboard and stuff. Keep steering wheel to the right, all that sort of thing. It's either now or never. Oh my god, I feel like throwing up. Shit, that is us. Here we go. I feel like throwing up.
So down the ramp and on the Spanish soil, going through the necessities.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Taking a wee stamp? Stamp? Stamp passport?
No.
Yes, please. Oh, yes, we stamp and all there. I think that's us. Is he going to pull us in? Oh, we're getting stopped. Hello.
Hello. Anything to reclaim?
No.
Nothing. Glenn?
No, no.
How much money you got?
What on earth was that all about? Let me see your money. I thought I was getting robbed.
I soon came across my first hurdle.
Oh shit, there's a roundabout here. This is my first roundabout. Right, that looks okay. Okay, this is my first roundabout and I feel like throwing up. This is so wrong. So wrong. I'm praying that there's loads of arrows on these roads. It's going to take my time, take a steering wheel to the right, and hopefully people are patient with me.
So, reaching Bilbao in one piece, I then started to make my way to San Sebastian, which was the first place on the bucket list. Roughly 100 kilometers away, known for its golden beaches and stunning views, it ticked all the boxes. This is my sort of place. However, I wasn't prepared for the cost of the tolls. This one cost me €14 alone. Nevertheless, I reached San Sebastian to discover it wasn't very camper van friendly. Parking for the vans was just non-existent. I even nearly drove down this underground car park.
Oh Jesus.
And that would have been very interesting.
Oh my god. I'm stuck. And check out the agent who thought he was gonna film it.
So after driving around for an hour, I tried everywhere to park this van up with no luck. And after nearly hitting the odd moped, I tapped out and pulled out of the place and ended up right here. Wherever here is.
No other way to put this, but I'm lost. I found this wee lie-by in the middle of some road. It looks like a Bronx. I don't know. So sit rep, we've made a monumental boob. All the things that I want to see are up the other side of northern Spain. Absolute disaster, a complete and utter disaster this is. This is another toll bridge. I paid £14 to drive down the road and I have to pay another £14 to drive up it. Oh, I don't know, man. I just don't know. So I paid £14 to drive down this road. To pay another £14 to drive up it. This is just unbelievable. I should have stayed in Ireland. Everywhere you go there's a bloody toll road and I'm getting stung left, right and centre.
And the tolls, they just kept coming thick and fast. I'm beginning to believe that Google have got shares in these tolls.
I've just come through this toll bridge and it's just cost me €4. Now it's going to cost me another €4 to go back up it because Google Maps freaking brought me the wrong way. There is tolls everywhere. All my money today has been spent on tolls. That's it. Right, get me out of these cities because they're absolute BS. We're going to the coast. There's another toll. What the hell? Absolutely not loving this country whatsoever. It is making a fortune out of me on toll bridges. Oh. This country is making an absolute fortune out of me.
Finally, that was the end of the tolls. At last I'm heading to the coast, and the more I got closer to the coast, the skies got a lot brighter and brighter and brighter.
So, good morning. We are in a place called Gaztelugatxe, which is just below the city of Bilbao. We're right on the coast. It is 7:30 in the morning and already it is roughly 15-16 degrees. This is where I've been staying for the last couple of days. It is absolutely gorgeous, very peaceful, very quiet, and it's free. Now, just below where I'm staying, there is some sort of a chapel on top of a cliff or something like that. It is roughly a 2-kilometer walk, and for anybody who knows me, I'm not a walking person, but we're going to give it a go. We're not allowed to fly the drone here, so I've left the drone in the van. Done absolutely nothing yesterday, which was Monday. I got the sun lounger out, I glued myself to it and I didn't move. I think it rose right up until 26, 27, 28 degrees at one stage. And that is the reason why I'm walking down here so early in the morning. Want to get down, back up again before this heat kicks in, because it is absolutely roasting. So that's my first view of it, and I know exactly what it is now. That is a wee chapel. It's on top of that big rock. Oh, I can feel it in the handy out legs, alright. I am one unfit hell of a human being. You see all those stone steps? I'm going to attempt to climb up there. So we made it. It is absolutely gorgeous. It is stunning. Now we've only done half of the battle. We have to get up them steps, ring that bell, and see exactly what's inside that wee chapel. So I had to take a break. We're only halfway there. It gets steeper and steeper and steeper the whole way up. We'll take 5 minutes. We keep going. We are definitely getting there. I can hear that flag flapping in the wind. That's how far we've came so far. So we have made it to the top of the wee chapel. It's just a pity it's not open, and the bell has been tied away to stop people from vandalising it. Other than that, the views are amazing. The place is absolutely stunning. Definitely recommend it. Well worth the effort. That is a wrap. So, top tip when photographing something through glass, you need to place the lens of the camera directly under the glass. If you don't, you'll get a reflection like this. The lens of the camera has to be directly on the glass because the inside of the chapel is already lit up with natural light, and that's what photography is all about, capturing light. So later that evening, I packed up the van and started making my way to my next destination, which is Cangas de Onís. A 3-hour drive, roughly 160 miles away. I thought I'll do half tonight, find a park up, and do the other half in the morning. And after stopping for fuel, I spotted a van parked up. Thinking it was safe enough, I rolled right in beside him. But after having a good look around, I thought the area looked very sketchy. And after a couple of hours, the other van pulled out. There was not a chance I was staying here. So I moved back to the garage that I had been to earlier, thinking it was a lot safer. And Lord behold, an hour or so later, a big wagon pulled in, a friendly accent from back home, Michelle and Eamon from Ballycastle in their self-converted bus. They knew of a proper safe park up, which was only 5 minutes away, and that is how I've ended up here. I think it's safe to say this van could do with a wee bit of a tidy. That is much better. So van all cleaned. That is me ready to go. Well, that's what I thought anyway. I need to find a motor mechanic as soon as possible. I'm having major problems with electrics. Wonder how they got a Halfords here. And they did. Okay, the good news is I have found somewhere that is the equivalent to Halfords. The second good bit of news is they do have batteries for sit-and relay vans. Third bit of news, which is not good, is she can't give me a price and I can't get the van into the shop because of the barrier so low, and she's saying there's another way around, but I've been around this place 3 times and I cannot find another way in. But there's no point getting up into these mountains, these Pico mountains, with no power, and this thing is, there's something just not right. We'll have no fridge for a start. What the fuck is that? Holy shit, that thing is green. Get out. Oh, close to that car.
In 100 meters, turn left onto Calais Barrio Sierra Pundor.
Turn left or turn right, make our mind up, southeast or southwest. There is a van in there, so how the hell did he get in? Right. Oh. Jesus, Dan. Right, so she's opening the barrier up, because that barrier was not open. Not this, here up. Jesus. The sweat is just banging out of me here. This is going to cost me, this is going to sting me. But if we don't get it, there's no point getting up in these mountains. This is where all my problems hopefully are going to end. Dirty Barlow. That is going to sting me. €224. I have one of these batteries in the bloody house. I should have changed it before I left. I didn't even think. Just sitting here with my wee Roy Cropper bag. Just a waiting game. €224. Oh, it's an expensive lesson. That thing's got to get me home. Nothing else for it. I'm going to absolutely devour this. What else do you do here? €5. Come about that, eh? Ooh, well, that was lovely. So this is the equivalent to Tesco's back home. It is not every day you walk through a supermarket and see wax of meat. This is unbelievable. They even have special bags to put it in. Some tramp trying to steal my bananas. Here goes nothing. Let's just hope this thing is raring to go. And there she is, fitted, running. €224. Today has been an expensive day. So it's just roughly 7:30 at night. I'm not going to bother heading up into them mountains at this time of the night because I can't see in the dark and I can't drive in the dark. So I'm going to revert back to the place I was. I'll spend the night there, and tomorrow morning we'll get up nice and fresh and we'll start our journey up into the Pico Mountains. So good morning, it is 10 AM, it is already 21 degrees, it is absolutely roasting. It is time to test this baby out. Oh yes! Hopefully that is all our electrical problems put to bed. I've had enough of this city life, I am going to the mountains. My first destination today is Cangas de Onís. I think it's roughly 108 kilometers, about an hour and 20 minutes. That was earmarked on the map. That's where I'm heading first. Then I'm going to make my way up into the mountains, up into the Picos, and we'll take it from there. Straight up that mountain. We are sitting steady at a nice 55 miles per hour. We are cruising. Now I did run into a few roadworks and I couldn't understand why people were blasting their horns at me. When you see a workman with a red flag in his hand, you stop, right? I'm just gonna leave that right there. So we have finally arrived in the little town of Cangas de Onís. The place is absolutely stunning, and this is what I came for. The views from the top of the bridge are absolutely gorgeous. That water is crystal clear. Can't believe how clear that water is. This is stunning, absolutely gorgeous. It's a busy wee place. You'll be here all day trying to get that drone up. It's also tricky as well to walk down. It's just all pebbles and big stones. Oh. I just made it down off that. Look at the amount of people up there now. It's a busy wee place, like. It is absolutely roasting. See if I can find a supermarket somewhere and get a few things. Oh my god, I found bread. Is that bread? Is that bread?
¿Está grabando? No. ¿Es grabar?
Oh, I was talking to someone on WhatsApp. What's up?
Alejandra?
Next up, the lakes of Covadonga. So we're roughly around about 35 kilometers away from this place. Maybe getting an hour or something.
Onto Avenida Covadonga.
Avenida Covadonga. What a name. So a bit of a bummer. We've arrived at these lakes, and it turns out you're not allowed into it in a camper van. You have to either get a bus up or you have to get a taxi up. Right, it is after 7 o'clock. I didn't realise that. We're going to have to go and find somewhere to park and go back to the drawing board. So good morning. We are fed and watered and everything is put away. We are at this little lay-by which is just below the Covadonga lakes. It is very peaceful, very quiet, and most importantly it is free. So instead of rushing up that hill to that Basilica, and with the old midgie bites and all sorts of other bites starting to accumulate, I thought I would give it a go on trying to fit this. This is one of these fly nets, midgie nets, whatever you want to call it. I had this in the back and I brought this with me. It just arrived before departure day, so I didn't get a chance to fit it. But with being in a quiet location and plenty of space around me, now may be the time to fit that. This is one of the cheap versions. This is probably one of the most cheapest ones you can get. It's off Temu. I think it was just under £20. Usually with something that's so as cheap as that, it's usually rubbish, or it's like trying to build something out of IKEA. I put a post up on Facebook not too long ago, and a lot of people were saying it's spot on, it's dead on. So I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to try and fit it, and let's see what we got for just under 20 quid. Actually pretty shocked how easy it was to put up. So there's only two things in the bag. One was a roll of this Velcro, and this is fitted the whole way around the edges anyway. Around the edges of the net is actually fitted with that. I think this is just extra, and because I have carpet, I can just attach that the whole way around the edges. These things can go right up to staying £400, and I was a bit apprehensive about getting this one, but for the sake of what, 20 quid? I'm well chuffed. Up with the zips. Now it's just to put the curtain back up, and hopefully that all fits. Oh yes, never wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. For the sake of just under 20 quid. That is a result. Morning folks. We are about to depart this little lay-by that we've been staying the last couple of nights. We've got a wee bit of rain this morning. To be fair, I'm glad to see it. It's been absolutely roasting. Other than put up that flying net yesterday, I'd done nothing. The exhaustion, the heat was just... it was bad. So I've done literally nothing, just lay around and recuperated and all that sort of thing. But today we're going to move on, but I want to drive up to this little chapel and I want to see exactly what it is. There's a lot of people heading up this hill this morning, so whether or not you can get parked and all that carry on, I'm not too sure. We'll play it by ear when we get up there. Yeah, I can down with some sort of wee chesty thing, I don't know what it is, so just bear with me on that one if you can't understand me. A lot of people saying I talk too fast. I talk too fast? You want to hear the people over here? Are you allowed to park up here?
If the car is bigger than the place,
yeah,
you need to park
that, okay? But down here, see, I have read that before. If you try and squeeze your car, your van into a wee space and it doesn't fit, they will fine you €130 or something. So it's not worth it. Excuse me, van too big. Is there somewhere else down there? This is going to have to do. The place is absolutely stunning. And say what, see Spanish, they never shut up. See? They don't understand the meaning of peacefulness and quietness. So I've made it up the long windy road. This is the Basilica. This is what we came for. It is safe to say I've been around a few monasteries and a few chapels. St Michael's in Munich comes to mind, the Clonard Novena in Belfast. But this one here, this one looks special. The place is absolutely gorgeous. It is absolutely stunning. Like, look at that. That is some wee spot up there. It is absolutely gorgeous. I did not expect to see that. I am well impressed. It's time to move on to our next location, which is a place called Riano or something like that. I think it's around about an hour and a half away. It'll give them batteries a bit of time to get a bit of life back into them. And yeah, that's it. So I have arrived in this place called Riano's or Rian's, whatever it's called. Just not feeling it. I found a couple of wee park ups. The first one I found was on the other side. I didn't like that. It was just didn't feel it. And then I found another one down there. It's just like some sort of industrial thing. And every time the wind blew, all that dust was sort of blowing over the van and blowing over the windows. I didn't fancy that either. So I found this one on the way in, which seems a lot quieter and a lot flatter. And whatever it is I've got going on, this chesty thing or whatever, it's really starting to get a grip of me. Just not feeling this. Today is Wednesday. I landed here on Saturday night, and I did mention about some sort of chesty thing was playing around with me. That sort of got a grip on me. It developed into something else, and on Sunday and Monday I couldn't even lift my head. I was stuck in this van, 26 degrees. I've been sucked, I've been plucked, I've been bitten, chewed, spat out. I'll spare you with all the glory details. So all them clothes that was used to sweat all this gunk out of me, they all had to be washed, all had to be hung out to dry on a makeshift washing line, i.e. my tow rope. The only thing that kept me here was the thought of getting the drone up. I spotted this soon that after arriving on Saturday night. This thing was huge. If I had put that drone up, this thing would have been a wayward. At the facility on Saturday, there was a terrible lot of people just coughing and sneezing. Nobody covering their mouths, no nothing. So there's no doubt about it, it'll pick something up like, and it's just bang. If there's such a thing as reincarnation and you go to hell, this is where you come, into this field. We're one of these donkeys. This was hell in a cell. 26 degrees heat, no water, no nothing, just hell. So I'm going to venture out. I'm going to try and find some sort of a pharmacy or a wee chemist. Try and get a wee bottle of Benelon or something like that, or maybe an antibiotic. I was able to get my hands on a pharmacy there. So this is where I'm at. This is the equivalent to Benelon. They didn't have Benelon. This is the equivalent to the Spanish version. That cost me £9.25 in euros. And paracetamol, 500 milligrams. She only charged me €1 for them. So altogether, we're in there about €20. I'm going for 10. I've spent €10. That's a result. That was interesting, trying to explain to someone who doesn't speak English what you were trying to get. I had to come back to the van, download a picture of the cough bottle, bring it back to her, bish bash bosh, done. So a day or two later, feeling a lot better, it's time to get this show back on the road, and no better place to start than right here. What a lake. It's just a lovely wee walk around it, a nice wee breeze. On this side of the lake, yarn, a bit of a shade. The views are just getting better and better. The views are absolutely amazing. Am I glad I stayed? You better believe it, I am. Every so often when you pass certain trees, you can hear all the wee birds, all their warning signs, all their alarms to the other birds, letting them know that there's somebody here. The place is just alive with wildlife. Place is absolutely stunning. Stunning. I was reading somewhere where it says that there's bears in these hills and these mountains, and they stay well away from them, that they're full of chlamydia. Well, let me tell them bears something. I've got a few things going on myself. If that water's not contaminated, it is now. You know, every now and then you come across a place where there's nothing else to do other than sit down and admire it. So we say adios to rains here in Spain. Our next destination is a place called Potes. Potes, P-O-T-E-S. That's what it sounds like to me. Oh, fucking idiot. What a complete and utter anchor. This European road trip is turning into a bloody disaster. Like the sign says for him to give way to me, why did he come bombing around that corner? And he wasn't even watching the road, I seen him. Suppose it could have been worse. He could have took a whole side of the van off and put me down some ditch. All this AA stuff and phoning the AA and how to make a claim. It's a whole new ballgame to me. They say bad luck comes in threes. Well, at the minute I'm sitting at number 4. We had the day we were leaving. I near chopped my finger off with that tenant saw. And then the electrical problems, had to go and get a new battery fitted. And then I felt sick, ended up 3 days in this bloody van. And now this. I thought it was hard enough building the van, but I just don't know. Honest to God, I just feel like crying. So just went over the dashcam footage of the incident, and it appears your mom's in the wrong. Yes, granted, it was a narrow road, but there was signs saying for me to go. It was a red arrow. He should have stopped when he seen that narrow bend, and he didn't. There was a sign. He would have seen that sign, which I pointed out, with the red arrow and the black arrow, telling for me to go and for him to stop, or caution the police or whatever. He should have stopped there, and he didn't. He came charging on around, and with 2 vans right in the narrow bit, his wing mirror whacked mine and took absolutely smashed to bits. I managed to put a load of green frog tape around that mirror to get me back to here, but now I'm going to have to try and contact the AA. I can't drive nowhere with that mirror. Actually, there is no mirror. It's lying in 4 bits. So I need to find the documentation here. I need to phone. Oh, this is going to cost a fortune on the Roman. Oh. So, if this procedure is as new to you as it was for me, here's how it works. Firstly, you need to have the AA app on your phone, and after filling in a few questions, their policy is to get back to you within 2 hours or first thing the next morning. In fairness to the AA, this was a straightforward procedure. Probably not a bad idea to have a hard copy of our policy, just in case. Now the WhatsApp procedure, it was just a bot, and by the looks of things, it's still learning. So, I've just sat there for the last 25 minutes talking to some bot on WhatsApp. It would appear that that's my issue, whatever it is, logged. I'm just waiting now on a phone call, and they says it could take up to 2 hours, or it'll be first thing in the morning. On the bright side, I've got some fella sitting over there in the next campervan in Sweden on a guitar. Hasn't got a note in his head and can't fucking strum a string. Sit rep. So it's roughly 9:30 in the morning. I got a phone call this morning from the AA. The call lasted 23 seconds and then it cut out. It dropped signal. They didn't phone back. So I took matters into my own hands and I managed to Google a wee garage. It's only a kilometre from where I was staying. And brought it around to this boyo and asked him to have a look at it and see if we could do anything about it. The moral of the story is the wee Mara is completely triced. It's broken into 4 bits. He says I can get you a new one. It could take up to a week for the part to arrive, which will be next Thursday. I'm sitting outside his wee workshop here, and all I'm going to do now is just wait to see what sort of a price he's going to hit me with. We're in the middle of nowhere, but one thing's for sure is that dash cam that I searched over last night, your man definitely ignored a giveaway sign and come charging on around that wee narrow bridge. That's 100% wanker. I was going to use that mirror today to get a shave. Like, I've heard of people looking in the mirror and breaking it, but the mirror breaking before you get to it, there's really nothing else I can do except crawl back into bed. So the AA phoned me there again, and I actually thought I was speaking to somebody who was going to help me. Took all the details, all that sort of thing. Says, yep, that's dead on. He says, what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer you through to the European department. Says, tell them your location, all that carry on, and they will come to you. Dead on. He then says, it's going to pop you on hold, and next thing, he went off. Somebody else come on. Hello, Sales, Birmingham, AA. So when they say the AA has got your back, not this time. I am no further on. It is 9 in the afternoon. And it looks like it's going to be a long bloody day. You're on your own, Dan. This is where we are at the minute. This incident happened on Wednesday. We are no further on from where we were on Wednesday. The thing is not fixed. Nobody's coming to fix it. And basically I'm on my own. We're having problems making connection with the European AA side of things because of a mobile phone signal. To be fair, on behalf of the AA, they have done their bit. I have contacted them 6 times via that app, and they did say we'll phone back within 2 hours, and they did do that on all 6 locations. So what they do is then they would contact their sister companies or whatever here in Europe, and that is where the problem is, the mobile phone signal. It keeps breaking up, cutting off and all that sort of thing. So the moral of the story is there's nobody coming, it's not getting fixed, and I'm going to have to take matters into my own hands. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and put this thing back together myself, at least secured enough that we get down out of the mountains and near some sort of civilization. That's the only thing I can do. We're going to have to draw a line where we are now and forget about going on deeper on the other side of the Picos. I can't risk it. We need that mirror. You need a friggin' mirror to see what's coming, because these drivers don't give a shit. In all fairness, it was an English driver that did hit me, but I need that passenger side mirror operating so that I can see when I'm in and out of the lanes. So, with the mirror sitting in bits, I thought I would make the most of the bit that actually works. That is the best I can do with the amount of stuff that I have here. Could things be on the up? And I even found a nice new t-shirt. Just want to get out of here now. If I had left the other day when I had the bad vibes, this mightn't have happened. But it is what it is. Let's see if this thing works. Here we go. Seems to be holding. So, at last, back on the road, and there's nothing really I can do except keep moving and keep a close eye on that mirror. And with it being roughly 6 PM in the evening, the next place on my list is the cathedral in Burgos. The plan is to try and get as close as possible to it, and early the next morning get parked right at it.
A wee bit of stealth camping going on here, eh? I'm right in the middle of a car park.
And you'll not get much closer than this. This is the Cathedral of Sainte Mere here in Burgos. The place is absolutely gorgeous. It is roughly 10:30 in the morning and the place is already getting very, very busy. Seems to be a lot going on here today. It is a weekend, today's Saturday. So expect this place to be absolutely bouncing later on. The place is absolutely gorgeous. That is some cathedral. So, the Cathedral of Sainte Mere of Burgos, a Catholic church dedicated to the Virgin Mary. It is situated right in the centre of Burgos, a spectacular landmark with breathtaking detail. There's no doubt about it, it is an absolutely beautiful building. The construction of the cathedral, which is based on a Latin cross with harmonious proportions of 84 by 59 metres, actually began in 1221 and was not completed until 1567. But it wasn't until 1984 that the cathedral was declared a World Heritage Site, drawing in tens of thousands of tourists from all over the world. And sadly, that is where my 3 weeks here in Spain has come to an end. Even though there was places I didn't get to see, and yes, I have had a few issues, it's been absolutely amazing. And now my journey towards the French border begins. I have 5 weeks to start ticking off all the things that are left on the bucket list, along with places like this. I've got the whole place to myself. Then finally finishing up on the beaches of Normandy, where the D-Day landings took place, and seeing some of the places that were in my most favourite movie of all time, The Longest Day. Some strange looks wearing this Manchester United top. Yeah. So we're at the town of Saint-Jean-de-Luz here in France. The place is absolutely gorgeous. Bit of an overcast day, which I'm not complaining about. It is still very, very warm. Some of the architecture in these old buildings are absolutely gorgeous. If I'm honest, this town was a sort of a plan B. My intentions were to stay here, but I couldn't find a park up, and that's how I ended up right here. And while I'm here, I might as well take a dander about, and came across this. This is the church of St. John the Baptist. This is the church where King Louis XIV, one of the longest remaining monarchs in history, was married to Maria Theresa of Spain in 1660. The church is known for its monumental altarpiece, and you can clearly see why. The attention to detail is just amazing. The church has been a heritage site since 1931. And if you happen to be driving through, this church is definitely worth a visit. A hidden gem. So real quick, here's the park up. It's right on the promenade. There is not that many places. One night's parking cost me €5.90. The only amenity here is fresh water. It can be very, very noisy, but it is a prime location. And for €5.90, it's a perfect stopover. So, the search for a stunning beach continues. So we keep moving, making my way along the coastline, and eventually ending up right here. And right over the brow of this small hill, I found this.
Oh yes, look at that.
What a beach.
Oh yes.
sunsets, they weren't bad either. I actually loved the place that much. I ended up staying here for a week. So for the next week, I done absolutely nothing. No filming, no nothing. I did venture down to the town, which was right beside it, and found it very expensive. There was a wee old church here, and since I'm a sucker for old churches and old buildings, I might as well have a wee nosy around. But apart from that, this was probably the most strenuous thing I'd done all week. What a week, what a week. Even managed to get a few washes done, but now I'm off to Lourdes, which is roughly 2 hours away. If you are driving through France, there are some things you need to have by law to ensure you don't get hefty fines. Number 1, you'll need an Ireland or UK sticker. They need to be placed at the back of your van. The Ireland or UK signs which are on your number plate, they don't count. Number 2, headlight reflectors. They stop your lights from blinding other drivers. Number 3, high-vis vests. You will need this so that you can be seen just in case you need to stop. Number 4, spare bulbs and fuse kit. You can get these generic packs from the likes of Halfords, which suit all sorts of vehicles. Number 5, a warning triangle. You need this in case of an accident or in case you break down. You need to place this behind your van so that others know to slow down. Number 6, documents. You need to carry a copy of your insurance, your driving license, your passport and your V5 document. If stopped by the police, and for every item you don't have, you can be fined up to €135 per item. So don't wait to buy them at the port or you'll pay double. I picked this kit up in Argus and it has the lot. You can also get an Amovis tag. This is a tag that sits inside your windscreen. That means you can use the toll roads without having to stop and put money into the machines all the time. It just basically speeds things up at the tolls. However, this needs to be set up a few days before you leave, as it takes a few days to arrive in the post. So the park up, which is just 5 minutes walk from the grotto, and from 9 AM to 7 PM, it cost me €16, which is not bad at all. First things first, get cleaned up a little before taking a walk about. And yeah, this is Lourdes. It is known for the miraculous spring waters, which many believe have healing properties, and for being a place of spiritual and emotional healing. There have been 72 miracles officially recognised here at Lourdes, the last one being in April 2025. And in a 1943 film based on the events that happened here, it portrays the story of Bernadette Soubirous from February to July in 1858 and was canonised in 1933. This is truly an amazing place, and later on my travels I do plan to travel to the town of Nevers. Nevers is a former convent and the mother house of the Sisters of Charity, and this is where the body of St Bernadette Soubirous is enshrined. So that is Lourdes done. What a place, what a place. Now it's time to start heading back up the mountain, and my next location is the Point d'Escape. In search of this. Granted, I probably could have picked a better day to see this lake, but it is what it is. It's a cable car to get halfway up the mountain, and a ski lift to get further on up. I'm not a lover of heights, and that didn't even dawn on me until I get into that bloody ski lift. But when the thing started dangling, because you're literally just dangling, I'll throw the hands up, it scared the bejesus out of me. So further on up we go, eventually getting to the top of the mountain, and yep, it was a total washout. You couldn't see a thing. And I ain't walking 30 minutes to a lake where you can't see anything. So real quick, back onto the ski lift, back down the mountain, but this time I get off at the halfway point. I could hear this thing roar, but couldn't see it, and after a 5-minute walk, there she was. The next day when the skies had cleared, I was finding these things absolutely everywhere. Even when leaving the place, they were everywhere.
Lack of water.
And just down the mountain was a wee place called Cascade de Lutar. So a non-cooking night, and again up nice and early, a few house chores and back onto the roads. This time I drive along the Col de Sur Pass in search of this.
Continue for 1.5 kilometers.
There is no way I am putting my van down that road. So we're on the other side of the Pyrenees. My intentions were to get to this place, but we got as far as here and the roads just narrowed right down. Then I started getting the signs on the road saying about a 3.5 ton van and wideness and all that sort of thing, because these lanes they just narrowed right down. You can barely get 2 cars down that road, never mind 2 camper vans. I did get talking to a guy this morning in a camper van, and he says he got halfway and turned back. He said it was just too dodgy. He says you would end up getting wiped out. There's no barriers on the side of the roads. The drops are absolutely phenomenal. That's not for me. So I'm glad I made the decision to turn back, and this is how I ended up right here. I am just over the halfway mark from this 2-month European road trip. There's a lot of stuff I didn't get to see, a lot of stuff I couldn't get to see, because there was some sort of law changed here on the 1st of June saying about camper vans and all that sort of thing. We have to get taxis and buses and all that sort of crap, and I wasn't paying it. So we've had to draw up a new list. We've only literally 4 weeks, and I want to leave Normandy, at least 8 days in Normandy. I need to be back in Cherbourg for the ferry, which is on the 5th of August. So there's 5 things I marked out on the map last night, and if I get to cover these 5 places, that is 3,500 kilometers of driving. So we're going to spend a few days here. I'm going to try and get this drone up. These hawks and eagles are everywhere, and there's all signs saying no drones, no this, no whatever. I get it. If they see it, they'll take it. So where I am now, I'm roughly 1,500 meters above sea level. It is absolutely stunning. The place is gorgeous. The sound you can hear in the background is the noise of the bells around the sheep's necks. The farmers are bringing them off the fields, and every bloody sheep has got a bell around its neck, and it's just going ding dong, ding dong. Actually, here they are there. Yep, that's the sheep, all the way back up the hills. Oh, the situation with the mirror. The situation with the mirror, just in case you're wondering. The mirror is holding out. It is still there. It is still stuck to the side of the van. The cable ties and all that sort of thing, they are holding out. And it turns out there was a 45 or 50 euro access fee you had to pay to the sister company who the AA would have sent to me in order to replace that mirror. So instead of hanging around for all that, I've just drew a line below it. I can get a mirror back in Belfast for 20 quid. I've already got one sorted, and I'll fit the thing myself so that if it ever happens again, I know how to fit it. So that's a line drew below the mirror. The mirror is staying the way it is until we get back home. We're moving on. So I'm going to head back down this hill, head back to the van, get a bit of dinner on, and we'll see what happens. Donegal, County Mayo, County Kerry have absolutely nothing on this place. They are well blown out of the water. And it's that warm, even the donkeys and the sheep are taking shelter. I absolutely fell in love with this place. The place is absolutely gorgeous, stunning. Not bad for a plan B. So this is one of these so-called ridge monkeys. This is my first time using it, so please be kind. We'll give it a go and we'll see exactly what this is all about. Oh wow, that actually worked. So a few people have been asking me, what do I do for a shower whilst I'm on the roads? So here's my setup. This is a 12 volt portable high pressure electric shower, and for the sake of £20, this is a handy and a brilliant bit of kit. It is so easy to use. Just fill a bucket with water, stick the pump into the bucket, plug the unit into your vehicle's 12-volt socket, switch on the vehicle, and that is it. And literally this is me for the next few days. However, on the morning that I was leaving, I had a good look about, the skies were clear, there was no eagles, no hawks, no nothing. So up with the drone, and no sooner than I got a good bit of height, there she was. She had scoped it. So I brought the drone back down real quick, straight back into the case, because she was still hovering, showing a lot of interest in it. She even had a wee low swoop. Lucky enough, I had the camera handy, just in case she tried to make a move for the drone. But putting all that aside, it was absolutely amazing to watch it. The thing was stunning. So that is here done. It is now time to get back onto the roads, and the next place on my list is the bridge at Avignon. So a lovely wee drive along the Col de Sur Pass, and for the first time I think the realisation of just how big France was, I think that has kicked in. The country is huge, and with the heat and the tiredness kicking in, energy levels not great. So I stopped halfway at an area overnight, so back up at 6 AM, had another crack at it, and got there in the end. Started off well, but I've never felt so unsafe as I did here. You were constantly watching your cameras, watching for people coming behind you on bicycles. Then some idiot thought it was a good idea to prank me with the old spray bottle on the back of the head and spoofing the sneeze. And me being a germ person, well, let's just say that didn't go down too well. And with the danger of YouTube pulling this video, I'll leave that right there. I came to see a bridge, not that one, but this one. This is the bridge at Avignon, a famous medieval bridge originally spanning the Rhone River. There's only 4 of its 22 arches remain today after it was destroyed with floods and all that sort of thing. It is a World Heritage Site and is a very, very popular tourist attraction. Right, I've seen it. Now let's get the hell out of here. €40, 40 fucking euro I was charged for staying here. It's a bloody dump. Noisy teenagers running around, running amok. If you want a peaceful, quiet place to stay, then stay the hell away from here. I'm going back to the mountains, so Lac de la Rouge is next on the list. Another long drive. Same thing again, I'll drive as much as I can, get a night's sleep, and I'll get there the next day. Now for some reason, it actually took me another day to get there, if I'm honest. There was plenty of naps on the way, plus the qualifiers for the Tour de France were on. But I got there in the end, and boy was I about to be spoiled. Bonjour. So this is Lac de la Rouge. It is roughly 6:30 in the evening. All the crowds have all left. This is a very, very busy place. Hopefully I'll have the place to myself and we'll try and get a couple of nice shots. So the sun is that way. We need to be shooting that way. Ooh. 3 days it took me to get here in that van. Wasn't it worth it? Place is absolutely gorgeous. It is so peaceful. It is a very, very busy wee place. You can only come down here first thing in the morning or last thing at night. The crowds that come to this place during the day is absolutely huge. You can't get moving, you can't get photographing anything, and you can't get anything done with the drone. Speaking of the drone, I came down this morning around about 6:30, 7 o'clock, that sort of thing, to try and get a wee bit of drone footage before everybody started to arrive, and it went completely tits up. In order to fly the drone, you have to have 7 satellites, or else the thing goes into something like sport mode, that sort of thing, attitude mode, and it just goes crazy if you haven't got full control of it. There's only 5 satellites here and you need 7. So of course I knew better and I sent the drone up. I got the drone about 30 foot into the air. The thing went absolutely boogaloo. Started spinning around and tossing around and doing all this. The thing went absolutely crazy. I had to hit the kill switch, I had to crash land it, and it wasn't good. I think I've burnt the motors out, the propellers are all cracked. I can't get the connection between the actual controller and the actual drone. It is trashed. But other than that, everything has went absolutely brilliant. We've got a beautiful wee park up. It's €12 a night. It's got toilets, it's got showers, it's got everything. The place is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. So we'll probably stay here tomorrow and head off the next morning really, really early. The next destination on the list is actually Switzerland. It's a 6-hour drive away from here, and to be totally fair, we are being absolutely screwed to the ground by these tolls. But I'm not going to go into it. I'm not going to go into a full rant about the tolls and how much it costs us to get here. It's such a beautiful place. I'll save that for another time. And with the amount of driving that I've done over the last 6 weeks, it's taken its toll. I'm absolutely shattered. So I'll make a decision the day after tomorrow whether or not we're going to go into Switzerland, and if not, I'm going to head back the way towards a place called Nevers, and that's where the body of St Bernadette lays in state. I want to see that, and I also want to get to Normandy. I want to spend at least 7, 8, 9 days in Normandy. We'll see how things go. So, here's the park up. I strongly suggest either arriving first thing in the morning or last thing at night, and if you do, this will give you views like this. And I also suggest downloading the app to pay for the parking, because you could be standing in blistering heat. Just download the app, it will then give you the number of the machine, and that's the one you pay for. And believe it or not, that is an actual bus stop. So we say a big adieu to Loch de la Rouge, and thank you for having us. In terms of scenery and all that good stuff, this place is going to take some beating. So we make our way up out of the valley, up the windy road, and down the other side of the mountain, and start the journey to the town of Nevers. So Nevers it is. And that's us. We're like for fuel. We're good. I'm on the wrong side of the road. Move over. That's us out of here now. Whoa, one more ramp. Yeehaw, we are out home on the boat. back down the mountain.
What a lovely wee road to drive on. The views are absolutely spectacular. So this is the city of Nevers. I'm making my way through its narrow, windy streets.
Take the next left, then
I
turn
finally arrive at the chapel of St Bernadette, the Sisters of Charity of Nevers. If you have seen the movie The Song of Bernadette, this is the convent St Bernadette left Lourdes for. She spent her last remaining years here, and this is where the incorrupt body of Bernadette Soubirous, who died in 1879 at the age of 35, this is where her body lays. Now it's time to get to the good stuff, the stuff that I've been looking forward to the most.
Look at that.
But before all that, I have made a monumental boom. I forgot about the town of Annecy, drove 225 miles past it, which means I'm going to have to head back up the road because it's somewhere that I've always wanted to see. And if you're going to do it, you might as well do it right. So the plan is, arrive late in the evening, stop on the outskirts of the town, then early in the morning, move in to get a good parking place. I've had another look at this drone to try and get something out of it, but see, it's just that's.
So this is the wee town of Annecy. We got a lovely wee park up, just 2 minutes walk away from here. The place is absolutely gorgeous. 10 to 9 in the morning. So that is what I came for, to see this little building. It is absolutely gorgeous. So this is the Palais d'Aigle, a 12th century medieval castle. It sits on an island on the Fru River. It is recognised by its distinctive triangular shape. For 80 years it served as a prison, fortress, a palace. It again became a prison during World War II and was classified as a historical monument in 1900. Today it serves as a local history museum. This is a very, very busy wee place, a tourist hotspot, so I strongly suggest getting here as early in the morning as possible, because this place fills up pretty quick. So good morning. I'm about to depart the city of Annecy here in France. I've had a lovely couple of days here. The place is absolutely stunning, absolutely gorgeous. I've never seen water so clear in all my life. It is definitely well worth a visit. So we've ran out of water, the cupboards are bare, the fridge is empty. We need to move. If you're thinking about coming to the city of Annecy, you need to do everything sort of AM in the mornings. Get out early, get everything done before 11 o'clock, because this place is very, very busy. Last night I took a gander down to the town to see if I can get that little building, whatever it's called, to light up. And the place was just completely jam-packed. So first thing in the morning, right up until 11 o'clock, you should be getting your photographs, your data, all that sort of thing, because after that you can forget about it. I did sit and try and fix that drone. It's just not happening. I don't know what I've done to it, but it's dead. That was a hell of a crash. So if you are thinking about coming to the city of Annecy, here's a few tips that just might make things a wee bit smoother. So the place I stayed is literally a 20-second walk to the lake. It is roughly a 5-minute walk into the town centre. There is a shower, there is a toilet, there's no fresh water, but take my advice, stay well away from the toilets, they're absolutely rotten. That's the only downside which I can find about this place. And when I say rotten, I mean horrific. But if you come into that little park up, if you come in around about 4ish in the afternoon, you'll pay until 8 o'clock, which is about €2. After that, it's free until 9 o'clock the next morning. Top tip, I would download the app. It's a lot easier instead of queuing up at that ticket machine, because there's always a big queue and you could be standing there for a half an hour. So yeah, that is Annecy done. The place is absolutely amazing. I would strongly recommend coming here. It's just breathtaking, absolutely gorgeous. So that's it. Thank you, Annecy. Doors locked. Plenty of diesel. Right way to So, the long journey begins from one side of France to the other. This road trip began back on the 6th of June.
Got a wheel spinning all there.
I arrived in Bilbao.
Oh my god. Okay, this is my first roundabout and I feel like throwing up. This is so wrong.
Travelled to San Sebastian.
No other way to put this, but I am lost.
And drove around the north of Spain.
I'll tell you what, the Spanish never shut up.
Made my way into France.
Going for an overtake. Yeah.
Drove from one side of France to the other.
Look at that.
And now I guess you can say this is the start of the long journey home. It's going to take a wee while to get there, a couple of overnighters at a few different petrol stations. The ferry home leaves on the 5th of August from Cherbourg, and I still have the 5 main beaches of Normandy and all the museums and trimmings that come with it. I still have all that to fit in. So this is Pegasus Bridge, just near Caen, here in Normandy. This was the first place liberated by the Allies in the early hours of June 6th, 1944. Now back in 1944, this bridge was actually called a Bonneville Bridge. This bridge was a very strategic target and was identified as the first target that needed to be captured. So just after midnight, a force of 181 men, led by Major John Howard, took off from RAF Dorset. They were sent in 6 horse gliders to try and capture this bridge. The idea with the gliders was because the raid on the bridge had to be done quickly and stealthily as possible, the gliders could swoop in quietly and land as close to the bridge as possible. The men could then move in and capture the bridge before the Germans knew what the hell was going on. And that is why the horse gliders were used. So, right here, this is where at 16 minutes past midnight on D-Day, the first glider landed with Major John Howard. And as I said, their objective was to land as close to the bridge as possible. Like in the name of sweet God. Just look how close they landed, right to the bridge. Here is an actual picture taken of the gliders at this very spot. So the first glider landed here. The second glider landed here, and the third glider landed here. So within what, a 3-minute window, you have 3 gliders on the ground and the men en route to capture this bridge. Now this is not the actual original bridge. It has been replaced, but it looks exactly the same. And tomorrow morning, when that museum opens, I'll get to look and walk on the real thing.
So good morning. It is 9:30 in the morning. We're about to go into this Pegasus Museum, and this is the famous part of the movie The Longest Day, where the actual D-Day landing started off. Roughly 12 at night, the first paratroopers arrived under the command of Major Howard. So this is all my sort of stuff. This is the final leg of the journey, the beginning of the end, because after this we'll make our way on up to Cherbourg and that is where the ferry is that is going to take us back to Ireland. But for the next 10 days or so, this is where I'm going to be running around, all these D-Day landing sites, all that sort of thing. Absolutely buzzing. I want onto that bridge, and I want to be the only one on it. Let's see how this goes. So this is the famous Pegasus Bridge. Technically speaking, this was the start of D-Day. At 12:10 that night, the gliders landed just beyond the centre, and this was the bridge that they came to attack and hold, all under the command of Major Howard. Unbelievable. We're standing here right in the middle of history, and you can still see some of the marks. Even after all these years, you can still see some of the marks left with the bullet holes. This one here went right through. Even here. I wonder what the caliber of them guns. Unreal. Absolutely unbelievable. Totally amazing. Absolutely amazing. All those who took part in the attack on the bridge, they are remembered in the grounds of the museum just overlooking the bridge. And just beyond that is a replica of the horse glider which delivered the men to the battlefield on the early hours of June 6, 1944. The museum itself is full of all sorts of goodies. Probably my most favourite thing was the actual bagpipes of Bill Millen. He actually landed at Sword Beach, along with Lord Lovett, who actually played himself in the movie The Longest Day. Bill actually survived the war and died at the age of 88 in 2010. Now there was no way I was leaving here without some sort of drone footage. So again, I tinkered about with this bloody thing. Now it wasn't flying great and it wouldn't pan to the left, but I did manage to get something. So that is Pegasus Bridge done. The park up right next to the museum. There's room for about 5 campers. It is free, there's no amenities, and if you happen to have a small van, you will get into the car park, which again is free. But that is it. The next stop on the list is the World War II Museum at Cannes.
Any other in the face of grave and constant danger.
So that is Cannes War Museum done. Our next stop on the list is a place called Canadian House. It is right beside Juno Beach, I think, roughly 20-25 kilometers away. We're running very low on power. The leisure battery is right down to 23, 25%, something like that. Didn't do too much yesterday. Just hung around the van, cleaned a few bits and bobs out. I did find a laundrette, and I was managed to get to clean bedding and all that sort of thing, washed and dried. Rented out the van and bought a few presents, watched the movie, and that was basically it. So we're up nice and early, we're raring to go. We'll head to this place, this Canadian house, and we'll see exactly what it has to offer. And I've just realised the bar is closed, so how I'm getting out of here I do not know. Can't get out. Oh dear. Can't get out. We're just gonna have to drive out the entrance. There's nothing else for it. There's a few cars coming in, but I've no other option. There we go. Talk to me, where we're going. Is this thing that talking to me?
Exit the roundabout onto Esplanade Rio de Lauderdale. In 200 meters, slide left.
That's us. That's us now. Not much of a journey, to be honest. Before I knew it, I was there. And a nice wee bit of luck, a parking spot right beside the house itself.
Your destination is on the left.
Then, you're not going to believe this, I actually thought that house was a museum. It's not. People actually live there. So I brass knacked it, rapped the door, and she says if you want to come in, you can come in. So this should be interesting. So I grabbed a couple of spare batteries out of the van, just in case, and ran back round like a shot. Oh, thank you, merci.
Right, okay.
Thank you. Wow. Merci.
Yeah, easy.
Hello.
Hello.
Wow.
Come on.
Thank you, merci.
I speak about the house.
Wow, yeah.
The house was built in 1928 by a rich man who was the Hotel Le Crillon in Paris. And he built this house for his son and his daughter.
His son and daughter.
In 1936, they sell the two houses, and it was the grandfather of Mr. Hofer who buy this house. And this house stay in the family.
Stayed in the family?
Yeah. I am a friend of Nicole Hofer, the owner of the house.
Oh, yes, okay. Yes, I understand.
And she's on holidays, and we...
Oh, on holidays, yeah.
In 1940, the Germans came in Bernier,
yeah.
And they like castle, and the owner of the house, who built this house, has a castle in front of the sea, and the Germans live in the house is here.
Wow.
The house is La Cassigne.
I could have stood here all day and listened to this lady. She was absolutely amazing.
After what, 80 odd years?
Oh, you throw the stone lamp yes.
And every people has flower, and they throw flower in the sea to thank the Canadian soldier.
I kept getting drawn to this view. What was going through the heads of the German soldiers when they seen this coming? So, technically speaking, that is not a museum as such, But there is like a donation box or something like that, or if you buy something, that keeps the place going. Oh yes. So it's an early rise in the morning, 6 AM. I'll have the whole beach to myself. I've had a good walk around the place. I know where everything is. We'll see how it goes. The Canadians didn't have a name for it, but they knew to look out for it. One house that stood taller than the others here on Juno Beach. The Germans had been using it to shoot at the Canadians, but the Queen's Own rifles pushed through and held the battered building, the first to be liberated in France on D-Day. And over 80 years later, the Canadians, they still keep coming. The owners of the house didn't know what really happened here until a few decades ago. Aging men first started quietly appearing outside the house and just stood staring at it. It was the veterans who had landed here in June 1944 and who had liberated this house. They then told the owners their stories as if it was replaying in their minds. The owners of the house then made the decision to open the doors to any Canadian who came by. Their house clearly became Canada House. All the treasures that I seen yesterday, they were brought here by the veterans and their families, each one a modest piece of D-Day history.
The sand is here.
Yes. So the sand has covered the wall.
Right, yeah.
After what, 80 odd years?
What a morning. A couple of fresh croissants and we are good to go.
So just minutes, and I mean literally just minutes up the road, is the Canadian War Cemetery. And after listening and seeing what the Canadians went through here, I thought it was only right to show some respect.
I have to say, after reading and seeing everything regarding the Canadians over the last few days, I don't think they get the acknowledgement, or whatever word you would use, for what role they played here on D-Day. Like, this was a heavily fortified area, 250 German soldiers for every 1.3 kilometres. So, moving on and sticking with the Canadians, Juno Beach. The next place is just up the road, the Juno Beach Visitor Centre. The plan, get as close to the centre as possible, and the next morning, get in first thing, have a good nosy around, get a tour of the bunker done before the huge crowds arrive, and we'll take it from there. The centre was built on and around the German bunker known as STP-31. Again, this was an area of the beach where Canadian forces landed on D-Day. The centre honours the memories of the Allies who began the liberation of Europe from this point. Inside the museum itself, there are hundreds of exhibits and artefacts, a ton of information, and a lot of amazing interactive experiences. With many personal items and stories from those who served. And outside there's quite a lot to see also.
including German beach defences and several other guns. I was actually stopped from filming inside the bunker. But parts of the outside are accessible if you are there early enough in the morning. And this is what the bunker looked like back in its day. So this is the air ventilation. The air ventilation is actually only a wee tiny tube which leads down into the bunker to the soldiers that's down in there. This was a trap. So when the Canadian soldiers got to here after coming off the beach to attack the bunker, they would have got to here, pin off with a hand grenade, in with a hand grenade, bang. I thought that was genius. So that is Juno Beach done. This place is absolutely amazing. So, the park up, there is an abundance of free parking all around the centre itself. There's no amenities. Try and park away from the centre as this place is very crowded during the day. The ticket for the centre does all day. Bit of a nip in the air this morning. Long gone are the 35 and 36 degree heat waves up in the north of Spain. It's a wee bit chilly. Right. That's us. That is us. So, Gold Beach is the next one. I think it's only roughly 7 kilometers away. Today is Thursday the 31st. The ferry departs Cherbourg on Tuesday the 5th. So I have really only 4 days to get Gold, Omaha and Utah done. Then try and fit in Sainte Mere Eglise before making my way on up to Cherbourg to make sure I'm on it. Fucking your head hammer. And your head hammer. This is Gold Beach. This is the park up, and a wee bit of bad weather which has moved in has ruined play. There was a wee bit of a lull in the rain earlier on for around about an hour where I was able to get out, have a nosy around and see exactly what's here. But the rain has come back on, and that rain just hasn't been off since. This is a very, very busy place. You cannot get a minute here. So the usual outcrack, 6 o'clock rise, I'll venture down onto the beach where hopefully I'll have the whole place to myself. And hopefully that weather will have improved. So that is me. I'm going to call it a night. So it's roughly 7 o'clock in the morning. It is nippy to say the least. I had a stick a pair of trousers on. Last night was like a proper winter's night. The wind howling through that max air fan. It's just, that's the first time I've felt a north wind since I left Ireland. So the plan of attack today is we'll go down onto this beach. We'll get a wee bag of sand for souvenir to go with the rest of them. Nosy around at what's left of the mulleries. Into the museum. See what goodies they have. To be already here by 6, the parking is paid until 6 o'clock. And we'll move on round. We've got 2 other beaches to do after this. Utah and Omaha. And then we will get to the best of the whole lot, Sainte Mere Eglise. Today's Friday, when on Monday we need to start heading towards that ferry, just in case something happens. So we'll see what happens. So here we go. Oh yes, just spotted my first Sherman.
So this is Gold Beach. Absolutely stunning. Absolutely amazing. Beautiful beach. Of course, things were very much different here, what, 80 odd years ago, 81 years ago. The place was an absolute killing field. One big giant graveyard. How the hell did them things float? I tried to pick a wee bit off as a souvenir, but the things are just as strong as what they were 80 odd years ago. I suppose it's a monument now anyway, you can't take anything off it. That is Mulroy Harbour done. We're going to nip into the museum here, get a nice cup of tea, and we'll see exactly what's going on in here. Absolutely amazing. So Omaha Beach is next. Should arrive there round about tea time. You've all seen the movie Saving Private Ryan. Well, this is where it's based on. Bloody Omaha. The beach scenes at the start of the movie, they were actually filmed in Ballinescar Beach in County Wexford in Southern Ireland. And believe it or not, they actually used local Irish reserve soldiers as the extras. So I'll see where everything is, find a park up, and tomorrow morning, nice and early, I'll go for a good dander around the place. So up nice and early this morning, a bit heavy around the eyes, a big bright light coming through the bedroom window, popped out, and this was here. Absolutely amazing. What else? What else would you be doing at 6:30 in the morning? What a beach. It's hard to believe this is one big giant graveyard. 80 odd years ago that water was pure red with blood. It is absolutely stunning. Go for a walk. What a morning here on Omaha Beach. Absolutely amazing. Probably one of the most beautiful beaches I've ever seen in my life. So it's back to the van, fresh change of clothes, bit of breakfast, and we'll move on to Utah Beach. Have we saved the best for last? Some wee man flying around there in a white van just beeping the horn. Hadn't got a clue what he was doing. Turns out, fresh croissants, fresh orange juice. That is breakfast sorted because we are running low on stock. Yes sir, that is a result. Just up the road is a much quieter museum to visit. It's behind Green Sector on Omaha Beach, and it contains one of the largest personal collections of World War II in France, with thousands of German and Allied exhibits on display, all original. The attention to detail of this huge diorama of a landing beach and bunker on D-Day is just unreal. Outside is a German Flak 88, a French Sherman rescued from a firing range, and a lot more. The place is absolutely amazing, well worth a visit if you happen to be here on Omaha Beach. There was something else I wanted to see. The house from the movie The Longest Day, where the wee Frenchman was waving his flag whilst the US Navy bombarded the beach. An old Goldfinger getting his comeuppance. Well, that's still here, and I've a fair idea where it is. So that is it. That's not happening. We ain't getting down that wee narrow lane, not in this van. There was a sign at the start of it saying, you know, anything 3.5 ton or anything is prohibited. There's no way I'm putting this van down that wee narrow lane, not at this stage of the journey. We've only 2 days left, and I would have loved to see that. And I don't think there's anything left on the map on this area of Omaha that I want to see. So the only other thing to do is head on up to Utah Beach. And after Utah Beach, it is Sainte Mere Eglise and then home. Sadly, our journey is coming to an end. 2 months. It's sad that it's coming to an end, like, you know, it's just flew in, so it has. Next stop is Utah Beach. This is the final beach. It's not much of a drive, but I am running out of time. So between tonight and tomorrow morning, I need to see this place if I have any chance of getting to Sainte Mere Eglise. So, we didn't get to see the wee house out of the movie The Longest Day. Bit of a bummer, it is what it is. But we're here at Utah Beach. We've got all day here tomorrow to crack on before we finally head up to Sainte Mere Eglise, and that is our final place of destination. So I'll get a bite to eat. I'll take a wander around the place. We'll get up nice and early tomorrow morning, and we'll see exactly what's here. The them bad boys are. The entrances to these turbooks are very, very small, very, very narrow, and the German soldiers and the German people in general are really, really tall. How many did they fit in here? Unbelievable. This is the view the soldier in here would have had, minus the hedges, of course. Just would have killed anything that moved along there. What a view. Didn't stand a chance, did they? You just wonder just how many people were actually killed from where I'm standing right now. On the morning of D-Day, over 23,000 US troops landed here at Utah Beach. First wave was led by Brigadier General Theodore Roosevelt Jr., who was the oldest son of the US President Theodore Roosevelt. He actually died in France of a massive heart attack a month later at the age of 56.
This is Robert St. John in the NBC newsroom in New York. Ladies and gentlemen, we may be approaching a fateful hour. All night long, bulletins have been pouring in from Berlin claiming that D-Day is here, claiming that the invasion of Western Europe has begun.
The objective here at Utah was to secure a beachhead, prevent the Germans from reinforcing Cherbourg, which is just up the road, then capture the port as quickly as possible. The Allied troops actually landed here by mistake, landing over 2,000 yards of their target due to smoke by the bombardment of the Navy and the bad currents. The beach was quickly secured with minimal casualties due to the fact the troops which were assigned here to defend the area were mostly poorly equipped non-German conscripts. It is an absolute beautiful beach. It is just hard to believe so many people lost their lives here. And when you read the headstones and all that sort of thing, the ages of them, 18, 19, 20. I think the oldest one I seen was 33. Been trying to get different things from different areas, like Pegasus, the glider, the bridge, a couple of museums, graveyard, places of interest. You can't get it all in. You could spend 6 months here and you still wouldn't see everything. We managed to get the drone out this morning really early, about 7:15, 7 o'clock. The light wasn't great and the drone, it's not great either. I think it's time to put that drone to bed. So that is it. That is Utah Beach done. And in fact, that's the 5 beaches done. We had Swords, Juno, Gold, Omaha and Utah. But we still have one destination to go, and that is Sainte Mere Eglise. And that is the creme de la creme. That is the one I've been looking forward to the most. I am absolutely shattered trying to get all these fitted in, but it's been absolutely brilliant. Absolutely amazing. So our next stop, and this is our final stop, is Sainte Mere Eglise. I think it's only 15-20 kilometers away, that sort of thing. So it shouldn't take us that long to get there. I think I'm ready to go home. This is the story of the American paratrooper John Steele, who was dropped into Sainte Mere Eglise on the early hours of D-Day. His parachute got caught in one of the pinnacles of the church tower, leaving him hanging on the side of the church. He was wounded in the foot by a burst of flak and hung there limply for almost 2 hours, pretending to be dead before the Germans took him prisoner. John Steele actually survived his ordeal and escaped later from the Germans, rejoined his division, attacked the village, capturing 30 Germans and killing another 11. He was awarded the Bronze Star for valour and the Purple Heart for being wounded in combat. Sadly, John died of throat cancer on May 16th, 1969, at the age of 56. What happened to him is portrayed in the movie The Longest Day, probably my most favourite movie of all time, and that's why I'm here, to see where it all happened. And this is the church where it happened. It dates back to the 12th century and has stood the test of time, including 2 world wars. The stained glass windows are some of the prettiest I've ever seen. And to this day, the scars of battle, they are very much visible. The paratroopers played such a large role in the liberation of this area, and the church reflects the sacrifices that were made. So this is it. This is my last night after 2 months of travelling around in my tiny home on wheels. Up and down mountains, along rivers, waterfalls, all that sort of thing. It's been absolutely brilliant. Yes, I've had me ups and downs with the mirror getting smashed into and then falling sick for 36 degrees heat up in Spain. Getting to see all those locations on D-Day, all the beaches, where it all happened. It's been absolutely fantastic. I did get a wee bit of luck this morning on Utah Beach. The skies opened up and I was able to get a wee bit of drone footage. The drone did actually fly. It wasn't much and it wasn't long, but it's come out okay and it's better than nothing. So, same thing again. I got up nice and early, about 6 in the morning. It's daylight around about 20 to 7, quarter to 7. And because the sensor on the drone is only a wee small sensor, I need a good bit of light or else it's going to come out all fuzzy and noise and all that crap. So I timed it this morning and around about 7:15, there was a good bit of light, enough to get the drone up and enough to get a good bit of footage. So I am praying that happens again tomorrow morning. So I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to jump into bed, set the alarms and get up nice and early. And hopefully we get this drone up tomorrow morning. There's a US Airborne Museum here also, and it's only about £10 or €11 and something like that there. So I'll probably do that there tomorrow as well, before we start making our way on up to Cherbourg, because I want to be here tomorrow evening, just in case something was to happen, because that ferry cost me £600. And I haven't got another £600 to spend if I fucking miss it. So we'll get up nice and early in the morning and we'll check the weather out, and God willing, we'll get this drone up. It is what it is. I'm going to give it an hour and see if anything improves. If not, I have a plan B. I would have loved to get that drone up right over the top of that chapel. Oh, I'm shattered. So I've moved over here to this other car park just on the off chance that things brighten up to try and get that drone up. Just a question of grabbing a drone, firing it up before everybody starts venturing out onto the square. But by the looks of things are not going to brighten up, and there's a wee bit of drizzle, a wee bit of rain starting to come into play. So the drone is completely out of the question. It's not going to happen. It is what it is. A bit of a bummer. I would have loved to get it up. But I do have a plan B, which is this. This is a 55 to 300 millimeter zoom lens. Now, I'm no lover of this lens. I've never rated it. I think it's crap. But now that the drone is completely out of the question, I want to try and get a wee bit of footage of zooming in on the actual power trooper that's hanging off the side of the chapel. But the same thing, there's not much light out there, and the more you zoom in with this lens, the more you lose light. Because that's what photography is all about, capturing light. And there is no light. Now, there is a bog standard video recorder on this. I don't really use it, to be honest with you, but on times I guess I'm going to give it a go and we'll see what happens. So there it is, and there he is. Skies are just absolutely brutal. Brutal. At least when that museum opens anyway and the rain does come on, we can still kill a bit of time in there. It looks absolutely brilliant. That's a depot. I don't think that's going to do. Oh, bit of a bummer. That is not going to do at all. Right, we'll go back and dump all this gear and we'll head into this museum for a couple of hours. These wee jeeps are absolutely everywhere. So there's the museum there, and by the looks of things it is open. What an amazing place. That is the best museum I have ever been in my entire life. So that's it. That's everything done. That's Sainte Mere Eglise done. Sainte Mere Eglise, top of the list. Beats the whole lot. For the 2 months I've been here, that place is just shot straight to the top. Next stop, Cherbourg, and then Ireland. So that is us. That is it. It is time to start our long journey home. We'll make our way to Cherbourg. We'll grab the ferry, which is roughly 16-17 hours back to Rosslare in Southern Ireland. And then we have a 4-hour drive back to Belfast. All that to look forward to, but what can I say? That's our 2 months is gone. It's over. It's done. Okay, this is the first round of it. This is so wrong. Not a way to put this, but I am absolutely lost. I'm stuck in this van. 26 degrees. I've been sucked, I've been plucked, I've been bitten, chewed, spat out. We need to find a garage. Electrics. That's gonna sting me. €224. What a fucking idiot. Honest to God, I just feel like crying. I've had enough of this city life. I'm going to the mountains. So this is La Rouge. 3 days it took me to get here in that van. Wasn't it worth it? Place is absolutely gorgeous. It is so peaceful. The world is a beautiful place. If you don't stop once in a while and have a good look around, you're going to miss it. What a morning here on Omaha Beach. Oh yes, look at that. So today is Tuesday, the 30th of December. And as you can see, the van is in a wee bit of a mess. And I've just picked the van up from getting this fitted. This is one of those diesel heaters. It is a Lavender Pro. Price range, this model is sort of in the middle. It's not one of the cheap ones and it is not one of the expensive ones. It's sort of in the middle and I think I'm going to need it.
because in 72 hours time I need to be in Rosslare in Southern Ireland to catch a ferry back to Bilbao. Yep, here we go again. The plan is catch the ferry from Rosslare to Bilbao, then drive on down to Portugal in search of winter sunshine, and then make my way on to southern Spain, places like Seville, Cordoba, Ronda, then on to a place called Granada, Alicante, Valencia, Benidorm, all those sort of places. But this is the weather in southern and eastern Spain at the minute. They are getting blasted with freak floods, tornadoes, all sorts of storms and gales, all that good stuff. So I just don't know how this one's going to pan out. Come to Spain, they say. Enjoy the winter sunshine. Believe it or not, that is a road that I need to be on. Just gonna have to ride this one out. No other way to put this, but I'm stuck. Louise, Brian! The fuck these people think they are.
If you find these videos entertaining or informative and want to say thanks or even just support the channel, please feel free to buy me a coffee. It is very much appreciated and it does keep the channel going.